Hey Teaheads, this is Don from Mayleaf. In this video, crafting Jianshui clay teaware. In this video, I'm going to be showcasing the skill and artistry to make Jianshui teaware. This video is going to go under the tea trips and the teawares playlists. If at any point in time you enjoy this video, then make sure you hit it with the thumbs up. The more thumbs in the air, the more tea videos are going to come your way. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, then go click that button. We are in Jianshui, Yunnan, China. Jianshui clay is lesser known compared to its more famous cousins, Yixing Purple clay and Chaozhou red clay. However, over the past 5 to 10 years, more and more collectors are getting into Jianshui clay. This is partly because it is harder and harder to find authentic Yixing clay, but also because the skill, artistry and special techniques used to make Jianshui teaware is so alluring to many people. Just like all clay teaware, Jianshui clay has an effect on the texture, body and taste of tea. I'll do another video specifically about that later on. But today we're in Jianshui to visit a master potter who belongs to the Teaheads minority group, who has been taught by a very, very famous master Jianshui potter called Ma Chun-Li. Hopefully we'll get to meet him later, but for now I'm excited to get my hands dirty and find out how they make Jianshui clay teaware. Welcome to Jianshui. All Jianshui pottery starts here. Here is the raw ore which has been taken out of these hills. There are 5 different types of clay that they can extract from this area. Let's go through them. This is white clay over here. Then you obviously have yellow clay here. You've got purple clay here. And then in those sacks over there, you've got 2 other clays, which I will show you here. I'm holding them in my hands. So this one here is known as green clay. Although it doesn't look very green here, you can see some green tints to it. And this one next to it is called 5 color clay or 5 flower clay. And if you break this open, you can see, well, I don't need to break it. There's bits of green, there's bits of yellow, there's bits of purple, and there's bits of white. So this is the 5 color clay. So there are 5 types of clay that are extracted from these hills. And then what they need to do is blend them. And there's a certain recipe that they blend. Oh, thank you. So take a look at the purple clay. So there is a certain recipe that they have perfected, blending these clays together to make a very stable clay that's workable and is not going to crack in the kiln. Very important, and you can see them doing it here. They're blending the different ores, blending the clays in order to make the final clay which most Jianshui potters will use. I'm holding my mic here because it's quite loud. After the 5 different clays have been crushed and blended, they're soaked in water below this ground and they're left for about 2 days. After that, they are compressed using this machine here. They're compressed into these plates here, into these plates. And they're left here for about 2 weeks to ferment. Let's leave the noisy area. Follow me, Celine. So they're left for 2 weeks to ferment. After the fermentation phase, the clay is brought to this machine where it is kneaded, and after this kneading process, the clay looks like this. Nice circular round cylinders of clay, and this is what the potters will purchase, and this is ready to make the clay pots. Some potters like to leave it for a few days just to rest and ferment a little bit more, but technically this is ready for working. After leaving the clay factory, the potter wanted to show us how he would make something very simple. So he went back to his workshop, took some of the clay and kneaded it very carefully before bringing it to his potter's wheel to show us how he would make a very simple tea jar. Let's just sit back and admire his skills. It's amazing how effortless it is, isn't it? You just make something like that. After the clayware has been formed by hand on the potter's wheel, it is then allowed to dry before being brought for fine tuning, where they really shape the clayware into the perfect form. This is super satisfying to watch. Once the clayware has been shaped to perfection, it is then normally brought to the painters. The master quickly demonstrated with a painting of some bamboo, and then it is brought to the engravers. And this is a particular characteristic of Jianshui pottery. If you see Jianshui pottery with illustrations, this is not paint. Instead, they engrave out the painted area and fill it with colored clays to create all sorts of fabulous designs. So this lady has just filled in the engraved drawing with white clay. So you have different colors: blue, yellow, green, red, and white. Whenever I do these videos, I've always got to dress up in something particularly stylish. Okay. I've got a slight audience. I prefer to do this in private, personally. Okay.
Do you think? Try out number 1.
So, This is an avant-garde style, a new design. It's hard, it's hard. Okay, you need serious upper body strength to do this. Okay. Oh. That was him, not me. See, what I'm making is a new style of teaware. It's called the cylinder brewer. Okay. I don't know what it is quite, but it's very nice. Be at one with the clay.
That's so nice. Okay, so
Just get it into a circle
in a
first.
circle.
Look at me talking like an expert. Push on the sides of the hole.
Well, he's got strength. I'm just gonna stroke it.
Come on, make a shape.
I am making a shape. Am I
Be
not?
bold. Yeah, you're making a very nice shape, actually. The way that the kiln is heated has a huge impact on the finished aesthetics of the teaware or any clayware that is being produced. Down here is wood-fired teaware, and the clay that is used to make this is very similar to the clay that we've already seen, but because of the wood firing, it has a very different color. You can see very uneven coloring, speckles. Ash has affected this one, so you get this really incredible mottled effect around the teaware. Some people really, really love this wood-fired look. Every piece will be totally individual because it's all every piece is going to react to the fire differently. Compare that with gas-fired teaware like this, and you've got a much more totally even firing where all of the clay has reacted to the heat in the same way. So wood-fired, gas-fired kiln. So after firing, the texture of the clay is kind of got a matte, slightly metallic look to it. We'll get a close-up of it in a bit. And then if you sand off very, very gently with a fine circular sander here, you sand off that metallic layer, then you reveal this black tarnished layer, which is beautiful, and you'll see a lot of Jianshui pots are like this black color. If you go further and you sand a little bit more, then it reveals the true color of the clay. And that way you can start to play with tones to make the perfect teaware. After that, it needs polishing. It's late in the afternoon in Jianshui. We've been going through the entire process for making Jianshui clay teaware, and I want to go through it before I forget. So first of all, we have the ore, which comes from the hills here, and you've got those 5 colors. You've got the white, you've got the yellow, you've got the purple, you've got the green, and you've got the 5 color. That's then ground down, mixed up, and fermented in water for a couple of days. After that, they press them into plates, and they leave them for a couple of weeks to continue to cure. From there, the plates are then kneaded into large cylinders. Those cylinders are generally then used directly to make clay teaware, although some potters will leave them for a couple of days extra just to cure a little bit more. Then the clay is taken, it's kneaded very carefully, and then the clay is taken and thrown onto the potter's wheel, and this is where the years of skill starts to come in. The potter uses his hands to shape the clay into whatever he wants to make. After that's ready, the rough shape has been created, it's then fine-tuned. So they'll take tools, they'll put it on a wheel, and they'll really craft it. It's so satisfying to watch these potters work. They'll craft it using various different tools, sand it down and polish the edges, bring in the lid so that it fits perfectly. All of that happens. It's amazing. After that, the teaware is then painted. Again, very skilled work and is usually done by a different person. So all of the different jobs are done by different people. So the painter will come and paint onto the clayware. It's very difficult to do because obviously the surface is curved and very smooth. It's not an easy skill to master. Once the paint has dried, it will be given to the engraver. Again, another person. The engraver will carve out what has been painted or will engrave around what has been painted, depending on the design. Then it's given to the people to put the slip inlay. So they'll take different colored clays and they will carefully apply them to the different areas so that it creates an inlay, and they'll take a lot of care to make sure that that inlay is pressed in very flat. After that, the clayware is left to dry for at least a day. Once that's been done, it then goes to the finishers. The finishers will take that extra bit of care just with sponges and tools, just fine-tune the teaware, make sure it's all perfect and looking good. And after that, it'll be dried. And that drying can take from a few days, if it's a small piece, up to about a week. Once the teaware or clayware has been dried to the sufficient level, it then is ready for firing. The firing process takes place nowadays in gas-fired kilns, running at about 1,000 to 1,200 degrees Celsius. There are also wood-fired kilns, although those are hardly used these days. The firing can take 20 hours upwards, something like that. And after the kiln has cooled down, the clayware has a kind of slightly metallic look to it, and then it gets sanded down and it becomes quite black. If you want to go further, you can take off that black layer and reveal the true color of the clay. As I said, wood-fired kilns have a very different look and don't go through this sanding phase to the same extent. Once that's been done and it's been sanded and is looking all beautiful, you can then polish the teaware. This is usually done with stones. We didn't get to film that this time because they weren't polishing, but it's usually using stones, some river stones, which will polish the teaware. So if you see some Jianshui teaware, which is very mirrored, very glossy, that is all natural. It's still raw clay, but has been polished with stones. And there you go. That's the entire process, give or take, to make Jianshui clayware.
Okay.
就是那个英格这些都不错，他那个历史文化。
Look at that, to store your tea in.
So cool.
I would love a few of these on my shelves.
It's so cool. Wow,
Remember that color
it's beautiful.
with that yellow. We've just left the marketplace in Jianshui. We were very privileged that we could spend some time with the master himself, Ma Chun-li, visit his workshop, talk with him a little bit, and see his teaware. What a character and what incredible teaware he has. The designs he has are quite crazy, a nice mashup of traditional with really interesting modern styles. He was smoking that bong. I'm not quite sure what was in it, but he's definitely got his own ideas in terms of his artistry. Now we're back at the workshop, and I want to go and see if I can pick out some Jianshui teaware for myself, and we're going to start to talk about how we can commission some Mayleaf Jianshui teaware, so stay tuned for that. I hope that this video has given you some insight and appreciation of the skill and artistry of Jianshui teaware. That's it, Teaheads. If you made it to the end of this video, then make sure you hit it with a thumbs up. Check out our YouTube playlist and let us know if there are any videos that you would like us to make. If you're ever in London, then come visit us in Camden to say hi and taste our wares. If you have any questions or comments, then please fire them over. Other than that, I'm Don from Mayleaf. Thank you for being a part of the revelation of true tea. Stay away from those tea bags. Keep drinking the good stuff and spread the word, because nobody deserves bad tea. Bye.